we'll be doing for today's lesson is identifying the surface area of 3D shapes. The keywords we'll be using for today's lesson are prism, cube, cuboid, triangular prism, surface area and volume. You may need a calculator for today's lesson, so make sure you have one to hand before you start. Okay, surface area. Surface area is the total area of the outside of a 3D object. So the first question it's asking, work out the surface area of this shape. So how do we work out the surface area? Imagine you've got a cornflakes box in front of you. A cornflakes box is a cuboid, just like this shape. You have the top, which is a rectangle, and it's the same size as the base. You have a left side and a right side, and they're both the same size. And you have a front and a back, which are all the same size as well. So you'll need that to work out the surface area of this shape. So we have to break this up into 3 rectangles, just like I've done there. So we've got rectangle A first. So that's the front of the shape. So that's the front of that box. So the area of rectangle A is 5 times by 9. And 5 times by 9 gives you 45 centimeters squared, because we're working out area. Like I said, the front face is exactly the same size as the back face, so we have to multiply this by 2. So now we've got 90 centimeters squared. So we've worked out 2 faces of this cuboid. Now rectangle B is the top of the box, so the lid. Okay, so now the size of it is 9 times by 3. 9 times by 3 gives you 27 centimeters squared. Again, we have to multiply this by 2, because the top of the shape is the same size as the bottom of the shape. So now you get 54 centimeters squared. Okay, and the final one we have to work out is rectangle C, which is the side of the box, and both sides are the same size. So it's 3 times by 5. And 3 times by 5 gives you 15 centimeters squared. And again, we have to multiply it by 2, because both of the sides are the same size. Okay, we're not finished just yet. The question is asking the total area of the outside of the shape. So the final bit, what we have to do is add up all the totals. So we have to add 90 with 54 and 30, and the final answer for the surface area of this shape you get is 174 centimeters squared. Guys, it's really important that you remember the units, because we're working out area, it has to be centimeters squared. Okay, the next shape we are looking at is a triangular prism. And for this shape, I'd like you to imagine a Toblerone bar. You've got 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. The 2 triangles are both the same size, but the 3 rectangles are all different sizes. Okay, just like this shape. So if we start off by working out the triangular face, So if you remember, the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So the base is 6, the height is 3, and if we divide it by 2, we end up with 9 centimeters squared. Like I just said, this triangle and the one on this side are exactly the same size. So what you have to do is 9 times 2, and you get 18 centimeters squared. So we have worked out 2 out of the 5 faces of this shape. So now we've got 3 rectangles left. So we'll name them rectangle 1, rectangle 2, and rectangle 3. Okay, rectangle 1, we'll start working out the base. So the base of this shape is made up of a rectangle which is 10 centimeters by 6 centimeters. And we multiply them together, you get 60 centimeters squared. You don't multiply this by 2 because the other 2 rectangles are different size. So now we can work out the front rectangle, the rectangle at the front of the shape. So that is rectangle 2. And rectangle 2 is 10 centimeters by 7 centimeters, which gives you 10 times 7, and it's 70 centimeters squared. And the last rectangle we have to work out is this one at the back, and that is going to be rectangle 3. And that rectangle is 10 centimeters by 3 centimeters, which gives you 10 times 3, which is 30 centimeters squared. So now, okay, just got to go back. The final bit, what we have to remember is we want to work out the total surface area. So we have to now add up or total all the areas together. So we do 18, add 60, add 70, add 30, and the answer that you should get for the surface area is 178 centimeters squared. But remember, the units is the most important part because we're working out the area of the shape. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is pause the video and have a go at working out these questions on your own. If you need help, rewind the video and have a look at the examples. Okay, the answers that you should have got are as follows. Homework for today's lesson is to pick 2 questions from each section. What I'd like you to do is draw out the 3D shapes and then work out the total surface area of each shape. So you can pick 2 questions from red, 2 from amber, and 2 from green. The green questions, you've got 2 word question, and then you got 1 past exam question. Once you've done this, please take a picture and upload to class charts.